Welcome in, everyone, on Wednesday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. There we go. For Miami Hurricanes Live, a 215th edition. We got a little treat tonight. We got Paul from Paul Scoop on the U to break it down for us. Paul, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Mark. Thank you again for giving me an opportunity to come on your show. I just got done actually when you sent me that message with my weekly show with Brandon Merriweather, Miami Hurricane. I think the name speaks for itself. So just got done speaking with him, doing a live show, and now I'm doing it with the voice of college football, Mark Rogers. So couldn't be happier.
So, if everybody caught that, as soon as we get done here, head on over to Paul's channel, um, The Scoop on the U, and check out what he just posted here. Good stuff right there. Well, Paul, I know that you've been fielding all sorts of questions about the coaching staff. I'm just going to throw it out there in general in regards to your take on who's been brought in so far, how you like those additions, and what you would like to see going forward on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, first name that comes off to my mind, Kevin Smith, running backs coach, tremendous resume. He knows the South Florida area very well, product of Miami Southridge Senior High School, played college football at University of Central Florida, was a phenomenal running back in college, played in the NFL, I believe with the Indianapolis Colts, could be wrong on that. He was drafted in the third round. I think it was the Detroit Lions, my apologies, but drafted in the third round, I believe in the NFL draft. Spent time at Florida Atlantic under Lane Kiffin and Kendall Briles as the offensive coordinator. Goes to Ole Miss as running backs coach. This was a great hire in a recruiting standpoint. Mark, I always say this as well. The running back position room, it doesn't matter who's coaching. We're always going to have elite talent at the running back position unit. So at the end of the day, it was a great hire to have Kevin Smith, but it doesn't matter who's coaching. Don Solinger, Kevin Smith, Coach Hickson, we're always going to have NFL running backs at the University of Miami. That's just the reality of the situation. Every running back room we've always had studs.
Absolutely. And do you have a checklist? Do you have a list of preferences going forward for the OC and the DC and what you would like to see there?
I think you have to have an offense that caters around Tyler Van Dyke. I think he's done phenomenally well, playing in a spread offense. He has a cannon of an arm. I do think maybe just going back under center, I don't know if that would, maybe take a couple steps backward, in the sense of getting used to playing under center. I don't know if that was his offense that he played in college. So I think just keeping a similar offense to what Rhett Lashlee had. And I think you'll see him really excel this next season, providing a good wide receiver core as well around him. To exceed his expectations, he developed a really nice chemistry with Charleston Rambo in particular this past season. So I think if you have a very strong wide receiver core, a great OC that, has coached quarterbacks in the past and done an excellent job, I think it can be a very nice recipe for success and a killer year for Tyler Van Dyke. I'll say this, the offensive coordinator position, I think it's going to be someone with a background in coaching quarterbacks, just my honest opinion. We still have not named a quarterbacks coach. We've named a co-offensive coordinator in Brian McClendon. So whoever the OC is going to fill in that quarterback coaching role. It's either Kendall Briles, Ken Dorsey, or some random name I've never heard of. I think here's my thing about Kendall Briles, Mark. Why hasn't he been hired yet if it's Kendall Briles? The bowl game's over. It's probably been a couple weeks. I don't know when Arkansas played their bowl game, the exact date, but
New
it's
Year's
been a
Day.
while. New Year's Day. 12 days later, we have heard nothing. We hire Kevin Smith as running backs coach. There is a connection there with Kendall Briles down at Florida Atlantic. Ken Dorsey, if he is a candidate, he's coaching with the Bills right now. I think he's done a tremendous job with Cam Newton, Josh Allen currently. I don't know where we're going to go. I can say this. It's very locked down. There's nothing coming out of the University of Miami football program in the sense of sources or, news, who's the favorite. It's really all locked down right now, something we haven't seen in the past. So don't be surprised if it's a name that nobody has even heard of.
Folks, while you're checking us out live, or if you're in the rewatch squad and you're watching this later, do what Toby did here. So check out the comment on the screen. Just watched Scoop on the U, the great show that he just wrapped up with Brandon Merriweather. So everybody check out that conversation. Don't hear it from me or from Paul. Take it from Toby. Great conversation there between Paul and Brandon. So check that out on Paul's channel. Appreciate Falconer X. Appreciate that super sticker. Love having you here as always, Falconer X. I don't have position coaches being hired with an OC and DC unless we are waiting for NFL guys. Makes sense based on
Yeah,
what you just said. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we'll see. I just, take every name that comes out with a grain of salt. We're gonna hire someone eventually. I know as fans we want to kind of set our minds of who's leading our defense, our offense. We're excited. We want to know, who's going to be our offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. Let's just wait and see. Let's trust Mario Cristobal. That's why we're paying him $8 million a year. And let's just, whoever he goes with, let's just trust his choice and just get better as a football program overall and finally win an ACC title game. That would be outstanding.
We've got Paul for about 10 minutes here, so everybody leave some comments and questions. But in the meantime, I'll fire away. It's been a long time since we got together, Paul. If we were sitting here this time last year, sure, Tyler Van Dyke and Jake Garcia were big prospects, but at the same time hadn't proven anything at this level. And now we've got the season that Van Dyke turned in, like 9 games played in a conference that produced the best quarterback play in the country, like Kenny Pickett, Brennan Armstrong, on down the line. Tons of great quarterbacks in the ACC, and he was right there with them. Are you obviously pleasantly surprised at how much he progressed and put out there right out of the gate?
A lot of people had confidence in Tyler Van Dyke before he was the starting quarterback. They said, he's a young up and coming quarterback with a lot of talent. A lot of people love Jake Garcia. I don't think a lot of people predicted what Tyler Van Dyke did this past season. I think he had 7 straight games of over 300 passing yards, Mark. That's incredible. That's outstanding. This next season, I really think, and I'm hoping, we're going to have that Heisman Trophy type season where he's going to be credited to become one of the finalists to win the Heisman Trophy at the University of Miami on the national stage. We got to win football games for him to get there, but this is the best quarterback I've seen at Miami in quite a long time. I thought Stephen Morris was a very interesting prospect in the NFL, had a cannon of an arm, can reach over 70 yards. I thought Brad Kaya as well was a very solid quarterback. He was just a sitting duck in the pocket. Tyler Van Dyke is on another level. He has enough mobile ability compared to Brad Kaya in the sense he can break away from the pocket. He has a cannon of an arm. I don't know as strong as Stephen Morris, but he's got a very strong arm. He's got an NFL arm. Tyler Van Dyke is the complete package, and I'm glad we have another season of Tyler Van Dyke to lead the Miami Hurricanes. And I think it's going to be a very special season, Mark.
Falconer X chiming in again. Appreciate that. Is it possible Miami is offering OC and DC candidates, but they are saying no? I hope that is not the case. TVD is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. That could be very much possible. I know a lot of people, were stating Joe Brady was the first offensive coordinator they offered after he was let go of the Carolina Panthers, and he declined the offer that Miami gave him. He wants to stay in the NFL, look at another position. So it could be very much true that, the coordinators they've been looking at, I'm sure it's not a ton of people, but being very selective, they've said no at times, and they've a little bit gone down the list. But at the end of the day, we don't know what's happening internally, what Mario Cristobal is thinking. I think the positive thing to take away from this is that he's trying to do it right and not rushing a hire. So we're at a wait and see approach, and I think patience will be a virtue.
The other positive is just in general just the presence that he's brought, and then of course that's been reflected on the recruiting trail. He steps in. The class is kind of coming apart at the time, and within just a few days of him being announced and making his introductory news conference, he's starting to reel in recruits. Cyrus Moss being the most recent one, of course, at the All-American game over the weekend. So the Mario Cristobal magic touch when it comes to recruiting is already being shown.
Oh, no. Mario Cristobal recruiting, it's taken over. I mean, we just reeled in Cyrus Moss out of Bishop Gorman Senior High School in Las Vegas, Nevada. He took one visit to the University of Miami and he was sold on it. That's truly on Mario Cristobal and what he's, just what he's accomplished as a head coach, as a recruiter. He's one of the best out there, that hands down. And I think getting Cyrus Moss, the kid's 6'6", 250 pounds, Mark. Okay. That's insane. His measurements, very athletic edge rusher. He's going to be a star at the next level, I can guarantee you. And the positive thing is he's already coming from a program with an elite staff in Bishop Gorman, playing on a national stage. I've had him on my show, Cyrus Moss. He says Bishop Gorman prepares him. They prepare their football players like it's ran like a college football program. So this should be a very easy transition for Cyrus Moss. Not going to put big expectations. He's a year one impact player, but he will make an impact at the University of Miami. I can guarantee you that.
Okay. Got Paul from the Scoop on the U. Check out his work if you're not already familiar, and you should be. Head on over to the Scoop on the U right here on YouTube. Subscribe and check out the latest video just posted minutes ago. And Paul's conversation with Brandon Merriweather is already getting high marks here in the chat. So some people have checked it out, and it's a good one. So give that a listen. Paul, before we let you go, unless there's something on your mind, I just wanted to get a very general thought concerning, we're in winter workouts. The players are just hitting campus, getting into that. It'll be spring practice here in about 2 months. Who you feel as though this is a very important spring practice coming up here in the next few months.
Yeah, first off, I'm extremely excited about our new strength and conditioning coach, Coach Aaron Felds. I think that's going to be awesome for our players to be under his direction, lifting weights and getting well conditioned. I'm sure that's going to pay off tremendously. No, this is going to be huge, Mark. I think we all want a healthy spring. Also, I'm curious who we're going to get from the transfer portal as well. There's a defensive back from Oregon that's on campus right now visiting the University of Miami. So, no, this is going to be a huge spring for development. I think everything will come more into fruition when we get an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator, to understand kind of how certain players will develop, because I'm curious what kind of defense we're going to run. I have no idea, Mark. They literally thrown out the name Derek Mason a ton of times, Auburn's defensive coordinator. Obviously, he's going to be running a defense that's a little bit different from what Miami has been running in years past. Maybe we'll stay in a 4-2-5. I highly doubt it. So it's going to be very interesting. I think traditionally we'll go back to a 4-3. I will say this, Mark. We need help at the linebacker position unit. Our D-line needs to get a little bit better, fine-tuned, obviously. Would like to see some depth at the cornerback position unit as well. And of course, I'm actually really excited about our offensive lineman, because you have Mario Cristobal, who was a former offensive lineman, specializes, in this specific position unit. And you have Coach Mirabal, who is an outstanding recruiter, outstanding developer as well. So I'm very excited about that. So there's a lot of interesting question marks, I would say, going into spring, and who comes into the University of Miami football program from different programs from the transfer portal. So I'm very excited to see what happens. So it's an exciting time for the Miami Hurricanes football program, and I think we'll be getting some answers in the next coming weeks, no doubt.
Paul, we appreciate you stopping by. Paul's got a lot going on, and for him to take 10 or 15 minutes to stop by, we appreciate you doing that for us. Paul, you're welcome anytime.
Anytime, Mark. Yeah, I greatly appreciate, again, the opportunity. And, hopefully next time I'm speaking with you, or, whenever the time comes again, we'll be talking about the Miami Hurricanes in the top 10 and competing for the college football playoffs one day. So thank you again, Mark.
Absolutely. Once again, Paul and his channel, The Scoop on the U. I'm sure most of you are familiar, but if you're not, head on over there and check out Paul's interview he just posted with Brandon Merriweather. Paul, we appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Take care.
All right, everyone. Unfortunately, Cam could not join us tonight here at the Voice of College Football for our show. I think everything's fine, but Cam just had too many things working in his life tonight that he had to sort out and things going on that he was not able to make it tonight. We will catch up with Cam next Wednesday at 7 Eastern. I would be willing to sit here and take some questions, and also something that we need to do a little bit better, but we've got so many things that we're working on at the same time, but go through the comments that come into the videos on the channel and run through those. But by the time I would work through and sift through all the comments and try to answer the ones that I can reasonably answer as not a Miami expert, more from the college football national perspective, I don't know that it would make for the best live stream possible. So let me see what else is going on here in the chat. But we appreciate everybody being here. Falconer X. Trust that mustache. Yeah. Yes, Toby. I was going to make mention of that. DJ James is a really good cornerback at the University of Oregon who's in the transfer portal and on campus now. Yes, that is the guy, and he is a player. Robert, appreciate you being here as always, and encouraging everyone to like, share, and subscribe right here at the Voice of College Football. Hit that bell for the notifications to know when we go live. So, for example, we've had our Miami show with the Wholesome One each and every Tuesday for a long time, and we had it with the Wholesome One on another day before it was Tuesday. Had to switch it to Tuesday afternoon. Now, because of some scheduling changes, we're moving that to Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll be back here tomorrow night, Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern time with the Wholesome One, and that looks to be his scheduled slot going forward. So that's why, to the point being made there by Robert below, is the reason why you hit that bell for the notifications to know when we go live, because schedules do change. I appreciate all the guests that we bring, not only on our channel right here, but on any of the team channels that we have on a regular basis. So they've got busy lives and work requirements and family obligations. And then I'm running 25 channels. So schedules have to change from time to time. So please subscribe and hit that bell for the notifications to know when we go live. Chris, Mark, I know everyone is on the Mario hype train right now, but who do you see as offensive coordinator possibilities? We pretty much covered that ground, and the possibilities that I would name after we have Paul on here, the Wholesome One, and Cam talking about offensive coordinator. So hopefully, I'm guessing you've been here with us for the last several weeks. If you haven't, just check out the shows over the last several weeks. And we also cut down the hour-long live shows. So for those of you who just want to hear the conversation on a particular player or a particular prospect or recruiting or the offensive coordinator opening, you can easily do that. But we've had tons of conversation about offensive coordinators. So my opinion or take on whom they may grab isn't anything close to what Cam's or the Wholesome Ones would be. So check out those segments. Well, I don't think there's any question, Chris, that Kendall Briles, he is most likely, in terms of the people that are being considered and talked about, has the most impressive track record. So out of those people available, and you never know who's available until you ask. So also keep that in mind, that there are offensive coordinators out there that have jobs. That doesn't necessarily mean that they can't be moved. Look at the case of Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly at Oklahoma and Notre Dame, respectively. They are coaching at two of the top 5 schools in the country. Nobody would expect Brian Kelly to leave Notre Dame or Lincoln Riley, Oklahoma. They're coaching at places where coaches don't leave. Coaches don't leave Notre Dame and Oklahoma. They just don't. Look at the history of college football. Look at the last 50 years. No coaches have left those places unless they get fired or they're retiring. They don't move on to a higher level job because there really isn't one. But look at what happened this offseason. College football is getting crazy. USC dumps a truckload of money on Lincoln Riley's head, and there he goes to LA. Same thing with Brian Kelly and LSU. He's making a ton of money, and he's building a top 5 program at Notre Dame. Nope. Truckload of money, $100 million on Brian Kelly. He's going to LSU. So there are candidates out there who don't necessarily look to be candidates on the surface, but if Miami and Mario Cristobal in particular sees somebody, knows of someone that he really wants, don't be surprised if they don't pull somebody to that degree. Appreciate that, Sean. Appreciate that so much. All right, everyone. Appreciate you being here. And again, I apologize for the brevity of the show at about 20 minutes, but that's going to do it for us tonight. If I had comments that have come into the channel and I had them organized, that I just wasn't sitting here sifting through 1,000 comments and had them organized in regards to the best comments that have come into the channel over the past month, and I could sit here and comment to them, then I would, but I'm just not going to go through that process, and you guys wouldn't want me to. Therefore, hang on. One day, 24 hours, we'll be back right here at the same time, actually 8 o'clock Eastern with the Wholesome One. Thursday night, we're going to be right back here. So join us then. And so keep your comments, your questions, and save them for tomorrow night. Yes, Hummus Hero, we're going to be here with the Wholesome One on Thursday night. In the meantime, wow, is my day complete? I've done scheduling reviews on Ohio State, Michigan, Iowa, Nebraska, and a live show on Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State, and now Miami. And we're going to go cut a segment on Iowa's schedule release and quarterback situation here in just a minute. All right. Plus, I got to release my 1 through 130 2021 college football rankings. We're ranking everybody. Please check out my top 25. That actually makes sense, but if we're going to extend it to a final 2021 1 through 130 rankings and release that here soon as well. Chris, we appreciate it. David, yes, take a break. Well, maybe tomorrow. Thank you so much for that, everybody. Chris, good to see you as well, right here at the Voice of College Football. Back here tomorrow night, Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time with the Wholesome One. We will see you all then.